you? It's Kyla Lou, and welcome back or welcome to my channel. I feel so privileged having beautiful people like yourself watching my content. So seriously, like, no complaints here. All right. I'll stop talking about how incredible you look today. And if you want to learn how to add text or captions onto your TikTok videos or any vertical video content for that matter, like this, without having to spend a ton of extra time editing everything word by word, then just keep watching. For this video, I'm gonna show you two different ways to do this, one desktop and one mobile. And the best part is both of them are completely free, and we're gonna compare the pros and cons of both. For our desktop method, the application that we're gonna be using today to make our lives 10 times easier is Descript. Now, what's really awesome is Descript has a free plan, and that is what I'm using to show you guys. And they actually give you up to 3 hours of free transcription, which is actually quite a lot, considering if you're using this only for short form content. That short form content isn't going to be very long, obviously, because it is short form. So that should give you plenty of time to try this application out, see if you like it, and then decide if you want to upgrade to one of their paid plans. But let me show you guys how to use this. I'm not going to go super in depth on every single feature of Descript, but I will make sure to link a video down below by another creator who I thought did an excellent job kind of explaining how to use this. So if you want to reference that video later, you are welcome to do so. But let me show you guys how to add text and captions onto the screen super easy. Okay, so I'm here in my home and I'm going to start a new project. So I'm going to click on this and I'm just going to title this project Test for the purpose of this video, and I'm going to click Create Project, and now I'm going to add in my video. So I'm going to pull this up. I've already created the video. At this point, what I've done is I've taken one of my YouTube videos and I've made it horizontal. I said horizontal. I mean vertical. I actually have a video here on my channel showing you guys exactly how to do that, so make sure you go and check that out. I'll link it down in the description below. So here is that video, and I'm going to just drag it here into my project, and it's going to create the transcript for me for the video. So this video is about 30 seconds long, and you can see already it's pretty fast. Okay, so here you can see my transcript on the left-hand side, and you can see my video here on the right-hand side. So what I'm gonna do is here at the very beginning, I'm just gonna click the space bar, which is going to click play on the text, and I can look at how it lines up with my video, which is really nice. Now, first things first, we wanna make sure that the text, the words make sense with what we're saying and that they're not, messed up. So let's go through this. Before I go and change out of this ridiculous Cuban Pete costume, so I want to change this word because that's not how we spell Pete. We want to do the name. So what I'm going to do is hold down E on my keyboard and click on the word, and it's going to allow me to edit it. Super easy. So I can click on this here, and I'm going to change this to the correct Pete, and then I'm going to click on correct, and it's gonna add that in. I do have one thing to say. I know a lot of you, I'm looking at you. I know a lot of you are gonna think that humor is the best way to grow on TikTok, and then your second thought is gonna be, well, I don't think I'm very funny. But I want you to remember that humor comes in a variety of different flavor. Let's do flavors because I know I said that. So then I'm just going through and editing the words and making sure, but I do have to say this is pretty accurate, which is awesome. If you will, as I hit my blinds, and it's not the only way to grow on TikTok, Cuban Pete out. Okay, so that they changed this to Q and instead of Cuban. So I want to click on this and let's edit it. Whoops, click on that there. Let's do Cuban there. Oh, and see, if I click off and I don't click correct, it's not going to change it. So let's try that again. Cuban, I'm gonna click correct, add that in there. And I want to delete this Q, so then I can just click on that and delete. Now, at this point, what I want to do is customize the font to make sure it looks really good. The easiest way to do this is just making sure that you've clicked on the text. So I'm gonna click here at the beginning, and I'm going to go up to this little plus sign here, and I'm gonna find where it says fancy captions. So I'm gonna click on that there, and now it's going to add my captions onto the screen so I can see them. Now, what you can do is if I click on the text here on the screen and I double click it, it's going to pull up the editing screen for this text. So this is where I can go in and change the font, things like that. What I really love is you can have dynamic text within Descript. So let me show you guys how to use this. So this is toggled on, and then I can do filter speaker, I can show all, I can have captions, speaker, composition name, marker, timer, all those different things. I'm gonna just leave it on captions for the purpose of this video. And let me see if I can just change this text just a little bit. I do like the Roboto. Let's see, what about this one? That one looks pretty good. I'm actually gonna switch it to this one, and I wanna do it bold. Okay, I like that. Maybe what about extra bold? Sure, I like that. Now, let's go ahead and check out, you can do the alignment, so I can do left, center, right, and then I can also see where it's aligned in the screen. I can do opacity, and then I can do fill and fill color. So this is gonna be the text color. So I'm actually gonna keep it at white. If I toggle that off, it's just gonna take the color out so you won't be able to see the text. So make sure that's toggled on. Then what I love is you can do word level animation, which I think is really cool. So you can see here, as I speak, it's going to move from word to word. So I can do the active word color, meaning the word I'm saying at the moment, and I can do the playhead color. I do actually really like that playhead color, which is nice. I can change the stroke here. So this is gonna be like the outline of the letters. I'm gonna toggle that off. Let's do background here. I can do that so you can see it easier, and I can do a shadow. Let's add a shadow color in here. Maybe let's do black. There we go. So just so it's a little bit easier to read. And now I also want to make the font size a little bit bigger here. So I'm just going to increase this size here so it takes it out of the screen, because I don't want a ton of text on the screen. What most people recommend with your captions is to have, 4 to 5 words in there at most. So let's go ahead and make this even bigger. And what is nice, this took me forever to figure out. If you want to increase the space here, you just click and drag there. And you can also move this on the screen. But if you want to make it so there's more lines, you just click and drag it out. So now at this point, I love how it looks. Let me show you guys how it actually looks. See, isn't that so cool? Okay, so now the next thing that I would like to do is, you can see I have these moments where I pause and I don't want the text on the screen just yet. You can break up your captions into different parts. So before I go and change out of this ridiculous, so I'm gonna click enter, and it's gonna put it on a new line. So check this out. Okay, so then I have a pause there after costume. So I'm gonna click enter and put that on another line. And you can see here, if I had multiple speakers, I can go in and name the speaker, and it's gonna show that on the screen. So this is perfect if you're doing any sort of interview style, but since it's just me, I'm not gonna add that in, but let's look at this. Okay, so actually this is perfect, because you're like, what the heck? Why isn't the screen, or why isn't the text showing up anymore? Like, it just vanished. So what we need to do is, and I should have done this at the beginning, but I want to make sure that all the text is selected. So you can see here, I have this like marker down here. I'm not really sure what this is called, but I want to make sure that the fancy captions, you can see this purple line, that's what the fancy captions are. I want to make sure these apply to all of the words that I'm saying. So I can just click and drag this out, and it's going to apply the edits that I made at the very beginning, which is like the font color, the dynamic text, the size, things like that. It's gonna apply that to all the words. So let me show you how this is. If I pick this up here, so there you go. So you guys can see that. Now I do want to say this is a lot of text on the screen here. So let's see if I can just enter here, click on this part, enter. Is it going to take it out? I'm looking at you. Okay, and then let's enter this here. So you can see if there's a lot of text on the screen, I can just enter it to the next line, and it's gonna take away some of that. I'm starting to make these different edits, and I do think it is pretty easy. I did find, as I was kind of playing with this was a little bit clunky, but if you click onto this, you can look at the different text and stuff there, and you can highlight different things. If you ever want to go back into editing the text, you can just double click on the text on your video and it's going to pull up the editor. But if it doesn't pull up, one thing that's really nice is if you go up here to the top right hand corner underneath your name, if you click on that, it's going to hide the clip inspector, or if you click on it again, it will pull up the editor. And then what I often do just to watch it is I'll just click on the text that I want to see and then click the spacebar, which is play, and it's going to show me the text. So really, really cool. There's obviously a lot more features that you can look at and play with. You can see the time here, but I think this is a really easy way to get started. And now let's see if I want to pause this. There we go. I just clicked the space bar to pause it. If you want to export this video, what you want to do is go up here to the share button, and you can look at project access. You'll have different accesses depending on your payment plan. But if you click on export here, you can do a cloud export, a file export, or a timeline export. So I would probably just do one of these. I'd click on video. You can do MP4 video format, export that. That is how you guys use Descript to get these awesome text and captions on, and it really does most of the work for you. For our mobile method, we're going to be using CapCut today. So if you want to go ahead, download that on your phone. I'm going to scroll over here to my app and click on that. So to get started, what we're going to do is click on New Project. And here you can see all my footage from my YouTube videos, but I'm going to scroll and find the video that I want to use. So you can see this video is 33 seconds long, and I'm going to click Add. Now we can go ahead and add our captions. And thankfully, CapCut has a really, really fabulous feature, which is auto captions. So if I click on text here down on the bottom, you can see the auto captions button. So if I click on that there, now I have some options. So to create my auto captions, the sound source, I'm just gonna keep it on original sound. You can select the language, identify filler words and pauses. You can turn that on, or dynamic captions. So with dynamic captions, it's actually gonna have the text appear as I talk. So you can toggle that on or off, or remove selected captions. So I'm gonna leave those toggled on and click start. And I would say this audio is, about 35 seconds long, and the captions generate really quickly. So let me show you what it looks like right now.
Before I go and change out of this ridiculous Cuban Pete costume, I do have one thing to say. I know
that looks pretty good, which is awesome, but I do want to customize it just a little bit. So let's start back here at the beginning. I can scroll through my video and look at the different text. So let's start with the very first text. So if I click on it here, you can see it highlights it on the screen, and this is where I can change the size. So if I click on it and drag it out, it's gonna make it bigger, which is awesome. Now, again, if I click on it to edit it, this is where I can change the words. So I can type it out here. So you don't actually type it out on the screen, you type it out on this. So I want to actually make this second line here, and let's see how that looks. If I go here into font, I'm gonna do this blood font. I really like that. Let's make this a little bit bigger here. And then I can choose the style. So you can do this, I know, a bunch of different ways. You can do this. I actually really like the yellow, so I think I'm gonna keep it at that there. And then you can change the color within it. So if I scroll down here, right now you can see it's on the yellow, but I can do pink, I can do orange, I can do purple. I actually really like that color orange there. So let's do that. And then I can look at the effects. I can look at the animation, the bubbles. So this is gonna add stuff behind it. So you can do all of that. Now, one thing that is really important to note, see this button here, apply to auto captions. So right now it's toggled on. So that means any of the changes that I make on this screen, it's going to apply to all of the captions in this video. So if I click the check mark there and click play,
ridiculous Cuban Pete costume,
you can see it applies to all of the text on the screen. Now, if I don't want it to apply to all the text on the screen, I can click back on the text here and click edit, go back here into font, and then uncheck that. So right now I'm gonna leave it on for the moment, but you can see when I move over into this next text, the words are cut off. So I'm gonna click on that here, and I'm just gonna move, first of all, I'm gonna fix this word here. So it says Pete. And I'm gonna move that down to the second line. Let's watch it.
I do have one thing to say.
Awesome, let's click on this here. Again, I'm gonna move this down. If I click on this here and I click enter, it's gonna move the words down. So I'm just going through and looking at the different options that I have here. Now, one thing that you can do is, let's say I want to maybe angle the text on one of these. So if I click the plus or the check mark there, let's go over here to this text here. So if I click on it to edit it, let's move it to the second line here. Actually, let's go to R. How do we like that there? Okay, so I'm gonna make this a little bit smaller. So because of that, I don't wanna make the rest of the text smaller, so I'm gonna uncheck this. And I can also click on this and angle it just a little bit with my finger. So I'm just grabbing it and moving it on the screen. So if I click check, that way when I go through, it changes the angle, but it doesn't affect the rest of the text. So that is something that's really nice, and you can go through and customize all of this. I do want to show you one thing too. If I exit out of this project, it will save it. So it saves it right there. If I click on it again, you'll be like, oh, how do I edit the text again? Just click on the text button and it will drop the text below the video so you can go in and edit it. So that is really nice, and you can go ahead and customize that. So let me show you how it looks right now.
Before I go and change out of this ridiculous Cuban Pete costume, I do have one thing to say. I know a lot of you, yeah, I'm looking at you. I know a lot.
So there you guys go. You can do that there. And if you want to export your video, up in the top right hand corner, you'll see the little arrow above the line. So I'll click on that and it will say exporting, and it will show me the progress of the video, and then it will add this into my camera roll, and then I can go and upload it onto TikTok, or you can see you can share to TikTok directly from CapCut. So that's really nice. And then I can go back in and create other projects. As far as the pros for Descript, I would definitely say by using both, you probably have a little bit more options when it comes to customizing your text, as well as you can do other things with Descript anyway, which is kind of nice. But I think overall, you do maybe have more options, more customizing options when it comes to how your captions look. Second, I also think it might be a little bit easier to edit your captions on desktop and a little bit easier to see just because you are on a larger screen. And third, I think Descript is really the way to go if you have multiple speakers, because you can name each speaker and show that on the transcript, which I think is really, really fabulous. So if you're doing any sort of an interview, or you have two people talking or multiple people talking, Descript is really going to be great for that. As far as the cons for Descript, I would definitely say it's a little bit more advanced. So the learning curve is just going to be a little bit bigger, meaning it's going to take you a little bit longer to figure out. And another con that I thought of that can be kind of annoying is if you're filming all of your vertical content on your phone, you do need to transfer it over to your computer to edit it, add the transcripts in, and then get it back to your phone. Whereas if you're using CapCut, you can just do it all on your phone. My rating for Descript as a text and captions application is gonna be a 7 out of 10. As far as the pros for CapCut, one, it's really quick because you don't have to transfer footage to your computer, edit it, and then get it back on your phone. You can do it all on your phone at once, which is really nice, and also makes it a little bit more mobile, meaning you can go and edit your content without having your computer with you. Second, I do think they have lots of style options for your captions, which I think is really nice and can give your captions a little bit of a unique flair, because we all have those captions in mind when we think of adding captions onto our videos, and those are great and they work for a reason, but I don't think there's any harm in adding some personalized flair to your captions instead of just trying to make the exact same captions that everyone else is doing on the platform. And third, what's really, really nice about CapCut is the auto captions works really, really quickly. So you'll have those captions up and running and then you can edit them. So that is really nice that it generates those so fast. Really, the only con that I had for CapCut was it is a little bit harder to edit all of your captions on a smaller screen like your phone. So obviously it's gonna be a little bit easier if you're doing it on your computer because it's easier to see. So that was really the only con I had for CapCut, is just it can be a little bit harder when you're trying to do all of that text and stuff on a smaller screen. My rating for CapCut, again in relationship to text and adding captions, is gonna be a 9 out of 10. So there you guys go. Those are two different methods that you can use to add text and add captions onto your short form vertical video content. Wow, that is a mouthful. But if you guys found any value in this video, please consider liking and subscribing because it really does help support my channel so much. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to drop that in the comments section below. I love you guys so much and I will catch you on the next video. Bye, dudes. 'Cause I've been living life